Hey, I know where stuff is.
You're not messing around.
Yeah, look.
Check this out.
Groove Merchant. Pencil. This is the original deal. And this is why, by the way, we worked, props to Kendor here, when we found this score, we realized that there were about 35 or 40 discrepancies between this score and what had
the
been
printed and published chart, yeah.
So Kendor went back and published the Thad Jones archive editions, the Vanguard Orchestra editions. And
Even
so,
that right there, that's not in the original, right? The D flat minor
right.
6. Yeah.
And like right, if you know this chart at all, like right here. The trombones in the original chart, all of them are going bop, 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 all four. But if you see this, Thad wrote it antiphonally. So like the first and second trombones are going bop, 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 bop. And the other guys are going 1, 2, bop, 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 and 1, 2. So it's back and forth, antiphonal brass.
Yeah.
And that was my first clue that something was up.
How about that, man?
Because it was, in other words, it was a mistake on the old chart.
Mm-hmm.
They had just made a decision not to do that. And Exhibit B. This is Thad's.
How much do these
pencil.
protectors go for? Do you know?
Oh no, yeah. These, by the way, these are the same protectors that Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You got a baseball
right.
card,
Baseball
they're
card,
same
sure.
protectors. They're UV protected. Oh, $8,
$8,
$7.
okay,
Yeah. You can get them for, now they've gone way up after COVID, but
Mm-hmm.
you could get them for $1 a piece.
Wow.
And we have the entire score, but now I can hand this around a table when I have a group come in here and some guy's got his Snickers bar. I don't have to, I don't have to risk having a stroke.
Yeah, right.
And they can actually hold the stuff in their hand. This is Thad's score to The Deacon. Count Basie, chairman of the board. And this is Yep. That's here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
on page 2.
Oh,
that
cool.
right there is some history. The Basie band, the rhythm section drops out, and the horns play a cappella. That's probably one of the factors that got Thad fired from the Basie.
Man.
Because there was by the way, there was originally fun Thad facts that Thad, there was supposed to be an album just like Basie plays the music of Quincy Jones, Basie plays Hefty. There was supposed to be a Basie plays the music of Thad, and Thad wrote 7 charts, including many that I think Groove Merchant might have been in there, Low Down, It Only Happens Every Time, That's Freedom.
Yeah.
And Basie apparently played them and said, Thad, these are great charts. And apparently the quote was, all you need to do is find a band to play them. In other words, they're too modern for me. They're too off of the Basie landscape. And so he essentially nudged Thad out of the nest. Mm-hmm. And those 7 charts are what the Vanguard guys call the original 7.
Oh, wow.
That was the genesis of the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Band.
That's awesome.
They were all Basie charts. And so that's why charts like Lowdown and Big Dipper, all those charts kind of have that Basie thing. It's because that's what they were written for.
Right.
They were written with Freddie Green playing guitar and everything, and things got, who knows? We actually don't have the original Basie copy of those charts. I don't know if there is one.
Right.
There's one that Thad wrote for the Basie and Ellington bands together, To You.
Yeah.
We have the Basie chart, and then we have, of course, the Kendor chart that everybody has. And they're different, because Thad was living in Denmark, wrote a whole other chart on it, so it's like 2 different, exact same form, but the voicings are all different.
How about that?
So, yeah.
Well, along with that,
you
can I
look around?
Yeah, can I take us mobile for a second
Sure.
and check out? I
Let's
guess
do
why don't
it.
we go to station A
Yes.
over here?
All right.
I'm going to disconnect.
That's what we'll
the
do.
power. All right, so excuse this brief moving
Here
around.
we go.
But
Everybody hold on.
Yeah,
to your
that's right.
hats. It's going to be a little bumpy here.
All right.
Yeah. So this
So yeah,
is...
show us what we got here.
So these are... whoops. I got the...
What do we got?
No, it's not. It's not in mirror.
Oh, no,
so
no.
I'm just trying to get used to it. These are 2 of Clark Terry's horns, They are both CT horns designed by Clark with olds, and this trumpet is kind of a prototype. But the flugelhorn was probably played by him for 10 or 12 years. Played by him a lot. These are all mouthpieces from Clark, and up here is one of his famed Greek fisherman hats. He had a whole bag of them, by the way. That's the same hat he wore. He had about 30 of them.
Wow.
He bought them from all the same company. Some company in Greece. He had them sent over, so they're all. And these are Clark's mutes. And actually, down here we bragged that we're one of the. You kind of can't see it, but we're one of the few archives that has plumbing implements. As part of the
sure.
archive. This is Clark.
CT?
One of Clark's. Yeah, he said you get an autographed toilet plunger as part of this.
That's awesome.
And these are all saxophone players will be drooling looking at this. These are all Mike Brecker mouthpieces. By the way, there are like archival photos of all this stuff on the website, which we'll maybe put. I don't know if you do a chyron underneath, but I can say it. Yeah, it's Living Jazz Archives with an S, one word. livingjazzarchives.org. And then if you go to Thad Jones Archive or to clarkterry.archive.org, it gets you to the same front page.
Awesome.
And you just see the photos of the guys, click on the photo, and like the Mike Brecker Archive has photos of all these, all this equipment, all the EWIs, and also, by the way, for a tenor player, Mike's son understandably wanted to keep his horn, but they gave it to us for 2 weeks, and we did a sort of a photo session. So it looks like, the same photos you'd see for a horn that's getting sold on eBay. Like here's the left hand, here are the pearl keys, here's the thumb rest that's customized, here's the serial number in large. So we did a sort of a photo shoot with it.
That's awesome.
And this, kind of got to hold the horn here. That is Lee Konitz's horn, believe it or not. This is the alto that he played on The Birth of the Cool. It's a 1935 balanced action, and the reason it's so shiny is because it was stolen from Lee and recovered in Paris in the 70s, I think, and during the time it was gone, it got re-lacquered. But it's an amazing horn, and it was certainly a huge part of
How about this
jazz history.
with Bill Russo with Strings album? I'm not familiar with that. This down here in
Oh,
the
the
back?
Lee Konitz
Yeah,
thing?
the Lee Konitz with
Yeah,
Strings. I haven't
well,
never heard
there's
that with Bill Russo.
if you look through Lee's records, I mean, you'd see album after like, what is this? I've
Yeah,
never seen
right.
it.
Wow.
Thad, all of them. You realize that, in the 80s when we went to CDs, it's like, I call it the tyranny of the CD revolution. A lot of stuff just didn't make it onto CD.
Wow.
Because of some licensing thing or
Yeah,
some
that's true.
business thing or whatever.
Mm.
And,
Alright.
and by the
Cool.
way,
Go ahead, yeah, please.
just a slight
There
Miles
you go.
Davis's trumpet bag. Miles is, one
And
of
he was a
the-
trumpet player, right?
I've heard that, yes, that's the rumor. I've never heard him before, but yeah, Miles's family came to us. Miles studied with Clark.
Right.
And Clark, he speaks of Clark in worshipful terms in all of his autobiography and stuff. So that's Miles's trumpet bag and harmon music.
Yeah.
Thought I'd mention that.
That's
And
awesome.
also up above, this is Clark's trumpet case, alligator trumpet case.
Wow.
And here is Art Farmer's trumpet case. Either that or was used in the Air Force.
Yeah,
I don't
right,
think so.
one or the
This
other.
This is Art's
Wow.
trumpet bag.
Awesome.
Flugelhorn and trumpet. But, yeah.
That picture go down in the back?
Yeah,
Or you
well,
got- okay.
it's a, I kept it because it's a photo of Art
Yeah.
carrying that bag
That's awesome.
when it was shiny, when it was new. You
right.
wanna move around the corner?
We'll go to the next station. How we doing on time?
Not much.
All right, then let's get
We
this
can-
in and then we'll call
We
it.
can pick this up after if you wanna do something. Yeah, if you just put that here. This is Clark Terry's archive here. Clark's albums. For example, this is ill prepared here. No, oh, there it is. Like this is Clark's first recording,
Whoa.
This is a V disc, if you know what that is.
What is a
V
V
as
disc?
in victory. They were written for the troops in World War II, so they were never released publicly.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So phalanges. That's Clark's tune.
How about that?
Yeah. Your link just died.
Oh no, we're
Oh,
still
it didn't?
going.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no, we're still going.
Maybe I just died.
No, we're going.
I couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So yeah, phalanges as in the finger bones, and it's like it's like one of those finger buster
Yeah,
exercises.
sure.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this was very hard to find. This one was, as you see, it was at a record store in Hamburg, Germany.
Wow.
So it was kind of like it was probably sent over during World War II
Yeah.
and welcome home. It
Right.
just got back,
Wow.
you know. So
And then this is the Lee stuff you were just showing me
yeah,
earlier
around
on
the
over there.
corner. This is before we do that, we can do it.
Oh,
we
to
can
the mic.
rotate around.
Yeah, let me get out of the
and
way.
See all of Michael Brecker's stuff. These boxes are all archival boxes. Here, maybe I'll.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like for example, this is Mike's first. These are all acid-free boxes that I was talking about before.
Yeah, that would be cool to check out.
Acid-free folders, and this is the tune Sea Glass. First tune, I believe, on Mike's first album in 1987. And they're stored by album because that's the way Mike stored them. And so I figured it was good enough for him. That's, you know, he thinks each of these tunes is kind of like a little family.
Wow.
You know, so and then each of these charts are
Wow, look at the
surrounded by
penmanship,
acid
too.
free. Yeah, and that's Mike's handwriting. That's the original pencil manuscript for that. And then, you know, back then, for those of you who are under 50 years old, you know,
Present.
you sent it. Thank you. not present. And so you sent it out to a copyist, and they'd copy it and project it. And this is called an oscillate, and that says Kenny on it because this was Kenny
Kenny
Kirkland's
Kirkland's,
part
wow.
at the session. And you see how, I don't know if you can see if the color. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can see it.
This is what happens to light sensitive paper when it's left out.
Wow.
Something was left here and not here. So this is why this stuff is covered up. And you can see the edges, the light kind of gets
Clear as
to it.
day. Wow, how
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, any of Brecker's tunes, and then down here
Now,
it's,
because I'm sorry to interrupt you, but because that's already tinted a little bit, can that perpetrate through the rest of the page with that acid free there? Do you know?
I don't think so. It's just the surface of the page. So
Yeah.
what we're basically doing is, in that case, we're stopping the
Stopping the
process.
problem, yeah.
But you know, 99% of these are pretty clear.
Right.
You know.
Cool.
And so this is like including some of the Brecker brothers stuff. You know, Randy said he realized, you know, his archive's half here anyway because
Wow.
Mike's music is his music.
Sure.
Steps ahead, all that stuff. These up here, I don't know
yeah,
if you can
this is
see
cool.
up here, but these are iwis up here in their road cases and all the equipment that went
awesome.
with them. Some of Mike's magazines. These are all cover story, Japanese cover stories.
That's down there.
And this here's my nightmare right here.
The nightmare.
A
oh,
dream,
man.
a dream and a nightmare. Yeah, like see, like right here, dreams rehearsal.
Oh, yeah.
Woody and Joe licks. I presume it's Mike, like recording just snippets of Joe Henderson and Woody Shaw
Oh,
stuff.
my gosh.
You know, yeah, there was a some kind of controversy at one point during Mike's life that, you know, somehow he didn't give Joe Henderson enough credit. He always said Joe Henderson was a big influence,
Wow.
but Joe didn't think so. So Joe had an interview in Downbeat where he said, you know, this guy's playing all his music and he never says that I was. It was unfortunate because it
Wow.
really hurt Mike
Sure.
terribly.
Wow.
Because Mike worshipped Joe
How
always.
about that?
And I mean, here's the proof. And this is Mike and Randy with Horace Silver. There are no, aside from this, there are no live released recordings of them with Horace Silver. Wow. And some of the time with Horace Silver, Randy wasn't on the gig, and it's Mike and Tom Harrell
Oh, my
with
goodness.
Horace. So, as to the question that anybody might be asking, like, oh, how do I get all this stuff? Well, unfortunately, a lot of this stuff, it's copyrighted. So it's not on the website any more than the Library of Congress Duke Ellington collection is on the website.
Right.
We have a list of everything, and then if somebody's working on a certain project, they call us. I call Susan Brecker and say, like the Oslo Jazz Festival just called me. They did a Brecker tribute. They're doing one this summer. They need the following charts because they say, like we've transcribed them, but we don't know.
Right.
We don't know if this is the real thing. We want to see what did Mike write. So I called Susan. She said, absolutely, that's what it's there for. Okay, boom. So I sent over stuff. But we can't